Chair Scott, I have 1 o'clock Central Time and that we may begin the meeting.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to call this meeting of the Texas State University Board of Regents to order. This meeting is authorized under Government Code Chapter 551 regarding the Open Meetings Act as amended by the 76th Legislature, effective September the 1st, 1999. The agenda for this meeting was registered with the Secretary of State on December the 4th, 2020. For the record, the date is Monday, December the 7th, 2020, and the time is 1:01 p.m. A quorum of the board is present. For the record, all the regents are available on the call. Before we get started, I'll ask you to please mute your microphones unless you're called upon to read or to speak. I'd now like to ask Regent Tinsley to deliver the invocation. Alan.
Thank you, Chairman. Our most gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day that you've given us. And during this special season, we thank you for the gift of Jesus Christ, for we are reminded of the gift of his coming, makes hope, peace, love, and joy possible for every person in every nation. Encourage us to do our part to bring goodwill and peace to our families, in places of worship, our neighborhoods, our communities, and this board. We seek your divine wisdom in our deliberations today so that the decisions we make will be pleasing to you and beneficial for those who serve. These things we ask in your name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Alan.
You're very welcome.
I'd like to welcome everyone to our virtual Board of Regents meeting for making yourselves available in these trying times. And as we need to wrap up the semesters on what continues to be unprecedented pandemic times for our system and our country. We hope all our TSU family are safe and well. As we get started with regular business, I'd like to let the board know that this meeting will be simplified. The approval of motions after each item we report on a motion, I will ask the board whether there is any discussion or objection. If I hear no objection or if there is no discussion, then we'll state that the motion passes and without objection and move on to the next item of business. Please speak up if you have an objection to the question. Also, I remind all present, we're streaming this meeting live on the internet. Please silence your phones and maintain your computer microphones on mute until you need to speak during the meeting. Our first order of business is the approval of the previous meeting's minutes. I move that the minutes of the quarterly Board of Regents meeting held on August the 13th and 14th of this year be approved. Is there any objection or discussion? Hearing none, that motion passes. The next order of business is the approval of future board dates. This item can be found in the general motions section of the board book. The list of items I'll just read them off quickly. February the 18th, 19th, 2021 at Texas State. May 20th, 21st, 21, Texas State. The first one was Texas State University System at Austin. The second is at San Marcos. August 12th and 13th, Sul Ross University Alpine. November 18th and 19th, Sam Houston State University, Huntsville. We'll update everyone should the format of the February 18th, 19th meeting change, but we certainly hope that we're able to be face-to-face. I move that we adopt the proposed future board dates. Is there any objection or discussion or question?
So move.
Very good. Hearing none, the motion passes. We'll now hear reports and motions from the committees. The committees met by phone prior to the board meeting to consider proposed agenda items in detail. All items under consideration were voted on and referred by the committee to the full board. I'll call on the chairs of the committees to present the reports and make motions, if necessary, to the full board for consideration. Our first is Academic and Health Affairs Committee, Regent Gary Crane, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Academic and Health Affairs Committee met telephonically on Monday, November 9th, 2020, and was chaired by me, with committee members Regent Edwards and Regent Harrell in attendance. Also, Regent Flores and representatives from our institutions and system staff were also in attendance. I've got, I think it's 16 items here, and all action and consent items were reviewed, discussed, and approved by the committee to be moved to the full board. Okay, item number one is Lamar University. They wish to add planning authority for a doctoral degree program in information systems. Therefore, I move that Lamar University be authorized to submit planning notifications to the Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board for a Doctor of Philosophy in Information Systems. Back to you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Chairman Crane. Motion is made. Is there any discussion or objection? Hearing none, motion passes. Go ahead.
Item number two is for Lamar University, and they wish to add planning authority for a Doctorate of Nursing practice program. I move that Lamar University be authorized to submit planning notification to the Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board for a Doctor of Nurse practice. Mr. Chairman.
Is there any discussion or objections to the motion made by Chairman Crane? Hearing none, the motion passes.
All right, before we go to item three, and taking action on that next item, Lamar Institute of Technology has updated their strategic plan. And I would like to invite President Howard to provide some brief remarks about the strategic plan. President Howard.
Thank you so much, Regent Crane. Good afternoon, Regents and Chancellor. I bring you the warmest greetings from our 8,129 credit and non-credit students. It is my pleasure to present to you LIT's strategic plan for 2020-2025. If any document could be classified as a crown jewel in my career, this strategic plan would do so. Despite this plan is only 8 pages long, it's really years in the making. In fact, our college stakeholders have been working on it in some form, some fashion since September of 2016. It is based both on qualitative and quantitative research. We actually reached out to thousands of internal and external stakeholders by using billboards, social media, surveys, and focus groups. I also want to thank President Evans for his input into our strategic plan as well. This strategic plan is called a shared vision. It's a shared vision because it's based upon the collective wisdom from the Chancellor's Vision 2020 report, as well as 60 by 30 and other institutional planning documents. I can tell you with every sense of certainty that this plan will work. And the reason why I can make such a bold statement is because it has already been, at least components of this plan has already been implemented during the past 4 years, and which has helped us to lead a 66-point enrollment increase over those last 4 years, as well as a 14% enrollment increase for this fall. So again, it is my pleasure, my delight, and just a great deal of satisfaction for all of our college stakeholders to present this strategic plan. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, President Howard. We look forward to the success of that plan. And let's turn now to that item number 3 for Lamar Institute of Technology wishes to seek approval for their strategic plan of 2025. And I move that Lamar Institute of Technology Strategic Plan 2020 through 2025 be approved. Mr. Chairman, back to you.
Are there any questions, objections, or discussion? Hearing none, motion passes.
All right, let's move to item number 4, which is Lamar Institute of Technology. They wish to have an addition of an Associate of Applied Science in Commercial Electrical Technology. And for that reason, I move that Lamar Institute of Technology be authorized to offer the Associate of Applied Science in Commercial Electrical Technology effective fall 2021. Mr. Chairman.
Is there any discussion or objection to the motion? Hearing none, the motion passes.
Next item number 5, Lamar Institute of Technology wishes the addition of a level 2 certificate in commercial electrical technology. So therefore, I move that Lamar Institute of Technology be authorized to offer the level 2 certificate in commercial electrical technology effective fall 2021. Mr. Chairman.
Is there any discussion or objection to this motion? Hearing none, the motion passes.
On to item number 6, Lamar Institute of Technology wishes the addition of a level 1 certificate in commercial electrical technology. Therefore, I move that Lamar Institute of Technology be authorized to offer the level 1 certificate in commercial electrical technology effective fall 2021. Mr. Chairman.
Any discussion or objection? Hearing none, the motion passes.
Lamar Institute of Technology also wishes the addition of a level 1 certificate in plumbing technology. And therefore, I move that Lamar Institute of Technology be authorized to offer the level 1 certificate in plumbing technology effective fall 2021. Mr. Chairman.
Is there any objection or discussion on the motion? Hearing none, the motion passes.
Item number 8, Lamar Institute of Technology wants the addition of an Associate of Science in Engineering. Therefore, I move that Lamar Institute of Technology be authorized to offer an Associate of Science in Engineering effective fall 2021. Mr. Chairman.
Is there any objection or discussion of the motion? Hearing none, the motion passes.
All right, Mr. Chairman, we're at item number 9, which is Lamar State College Orange has a request for a new proposal in emergency medical technician basic certificate. And therefore, I move that Lamar State College Orange be authorized to create a new emergency medical technician basic level 1 certificate effective fall 2021. Mr. Chairman.
Is there any discussion or objection to the motion? Hearing none, the motion passes.
We're at item number 10, which is for Lamar State College Orange, and they want a new program proposal for an emergency medical technician intermediate, certificate. Therefore, I move that Lamar State College Orange be authorized to create a new emergency medical technician intermediate level 1 certificate effective fall 2021. Mr. Chairman.
Is there any discussion or objection to this motion? Hearing none, the motion passes.
Item number 11, Lamar State College Orange. They wish to have a new program proposal for ordinary Seaman 2 certificate. Therefore, I move that Lamar State College Orange be authorized to create a new ordinary Seaman 2 level 1 certificate effective fall 2021. Chairman Scott.
Any discussion or objection to this motion? Hearing none, the motion passes.
Very good. Let's do item number 12, which is Lamar State College of Orange. They desire a new program proposal for ordinary Seaman 3 certificate. With that in mind, I move that Lamar State College Orange be authorized to create a new ordinary Seaman 3 level 1 certificate effective for the fall of 2021. Chairman Scott.
Is there any discussion or objection to this motion? Hearing none, the motion passes.
All right, Chairman Scott, the next several items on our agenda are informational items only, including the following 4. Lamar State College Port Arthur wishes to confer a distinguished associate professor emeritus of art to Grace Magnet. Also, Lamar State College Port Arthur wishes to confer a distinguished professor emeritus of government to Mavis T. Treble. And we have 2 more. Texas State University Systems wants to certify the enrollment report for the summer of 2020. And also the Texas State University System has a preliminary enrollment report fall 2020. Now, I would like to invite President Renard to provide a few brief remarks of her Professor Emeritus faculty before requesting approval of their respective resolutions. President Renard.
Thank you, Regent Crane. This is one of those times when you really are fearful that you won't do justice with the spoken word of the service of these 2 individuals. Grace Magnet, many of you may remember her when she received the TSUS Teaching Excellence Award. And shortly before that, she also received the Piper Professor Award. She taught for several years on our campus. She was here for at least 13 years. And if you remember some of her history, Grace was actually born and raised in Switzerland and taught in a number of institutions in Europe She is an artist. Her artwork hangs in several well-known museums around the world. She also did quite a bit of charitable work. And she in fact has 3 different foundations to support at-risk students. And she also spent some of her time working with Mother Teresa, helping the underserved and people in India. So she brings great honor and pride to the campus, and we are delighted to suggest that she receive and be awarded the title of Distinguished Associate Professor Emeritus of Art.
Well, thank you very much, President Renard. In like regard, I move that the resolution for the Distinguished Associate Professor Emeritus of Art to Grace Magnet be approved. Chairman Scott.
Is there any discussion or objection to this motion? Hearing none, the motion passes.
President Renard, would you like to talk about your next candidate?
Yes, thank you very much, Regent Crane. Mavis Treble recently retired from our campus after 30 years of work and teaching experience on our campus. She was well known on our campus, and I'll never forget seeing her at basketball games and watching students walk up to shake her hand and check in with Ms. Treble because she kept an eye on all of them. But Mavis had a long history on our campus. She is remembered by everybody. She was passionate about teaching and about her students. She worked on a number of different organizations in the community. She was also very involved with the Texas State University System Council of Faculty Senates. She was a member of several professional organizations in the state, and was one of the first. She was the first Piper professor that we had working on our campus. For her work and her effort in government and in advancing the discipline of government on our campus, she recently received the Leon Jaworski Award by the Texas State Bar Association. So we're very proud of her and her service to the campus and to our students. And we're very pleased to nominate her for Professor Emeritus. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, President Renard. I move that the resolution for the Distinguished Professor Emeritus of Government to Mavis T. Treble be approved. Chairman Scott.
Is there any discussion or objection to this motion? Hearing none, the motion passes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Any remaining items that was there a comment? No. Okay. Any remaining items are included in the consent agenda unless someone wishes to remove an item from the consent. And not hearing such, I'll move on. Before concluding, I would like to invite Dr. John Hayek, Vice Chairman, or Chancellor, excuse me, for Academic and Health Affairs to introduce a brief video report on online education across our entire system. Dr. Hayek.
Thank you, Regent Crane. Before introducing the video report this afternoon, I'd like to quickly extend my sincere appreciation to all of our chief academic officers and their respective teams, including the academic affairs and provost offices and their staff, all the deans, department chairs, faculty senates, over 4,500 faculty members across our system, and the academic and support staff from student affairs, enrollment management, advising, financial aid, IT, the library, the registrar, health services, athletics, institutional research, and many other offices that have stepped up and supported our students during this very difficult semester. All their extra hours of planning and work is so very much appreciated. I'd also like to extend a personal thank you to Dr. Dick Egelsair, former provost at Sam Houston State University, who recently retired after 37 years career at Sam. He's been a great academic leader and friend, and our CAO group extends our very best wishes to him for a very long retirement. And with that, we have a short video report that Dr. Bill Angrove, our Chief Online Education Officer, has put together with his team and the respective distance education directors and their teams across the system. The video highlights impressive online education performance this past year and our system's leadership in this area, which was responded in an extraordinary way this past year due to the implications of COVID-19 and the demand for increased remote learning. After the video, I'll be happy to answer any questions. Please roll the video.
Good afternoon, Chairman Scott, Regents, and Chancellor McCall. We've recently completed the 4th edition of the Texas State University System Online Education Annual Report, which reviews current research and national trends in online education. The report quantifies the 3 key performance indicators in online education for each of our 7 institutions. They include the number of online degree programs we offer, the number of semester credit hours we generate online, and the number of degrees that were awarded online. Here are some more details of our forward steps.
Our 2020 system-wide online education goals are listed on this slide. We're pleased to report we've exceeded our goals for degree programs offered online, semester credit hours generated online, and degrees awarded online. In spring 2020, Lamar University Online went from serving over 45% of all students enrolled at LU to serving 100% online due to COVID-19. In fall 2020, with in-person instruction resuming and a record enrollment of over 17,000 students, 64% of total semester credit hours continue to be fully online. At Sam Houston State University, we increased our 100% online student headcount by 21% as the result of a comprehensive advertising campaign to recruit new students through various channels by using digital television, online video, and social media advertisements in the major metropolitan areas of Texas, including Houston, San Antonio, Dallas-Fort Worth, and Austin. The shared services partnership with SHSU has positively impacted the Sul-Ross State University online educational area in many ways. The objective of this initiative is to share services and resources in support of improving and expanding quality online education within the Texas State University system. SHSU hosts weekly online webinars and their online faculty certification program to all SRSU faculty. The faculty now have access to a team of instructional designers to aid in their course development, as well as advanced Blackboard components that promote a richer online learning experience. Typically, Texas State University has just over 1,000 undergraduate and graduate students who are 100% online. Routinely, 6 to 7% of semester credit hours are attributable to online learning. However, response to the COVID-19 pandemic generated unusual and temporary growth in SCH offered via online learning in fall 2020. However, the pandemic has revealed the popularity of some online learning, especially at the graduate level and during the summer semester, which we intend to better capitalize on going forward. Lamar Institute of Technology offers 10 fully online, 100% degree or certificate programs, and 34 partially online, 50 to 95% programs. Lamar Institute of Technology, as of fall 2020, had 1,257 fully online students, with an additional 1,518 students taking at least one or more courses online. Students at Lamar State College Orange can complete the Texas Core curriculum completely online, as well as several other degree options, including the Associate of Arts and Liberal Arts, and certificates and associate's degrees in business and computer science. Over 335 courses are now offered online at Lamar State College Port Arthur, allowing additional flexibility in class schedules for students who are working. Additionally, the online courses allow for social distancing to help fight the spread of COVID-19. 8-week sessions are available for students who wish to take courses over a shorter time period, as opposed to a traditional semester. In the fall of 2020, Lamar State College Orange had 2,367 students taking one or more online courses. The Texas State University system remains the leader in online education among Texas public four-year university systems, with the highest percentage of fully online students in Texas. The Texas State University system and its institutions have responded to the unique challenges of 2020 and will continue to address them in the years to come.
Dr. Hayek, thank you very much. Did you have any comments you wish to make? Okay. All right, thank you. Mr. Chairman, this concludes the committee's report to the board. Thank you all very much. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Regent Crane. And our next item is Finance and Audit Committee. Can I ask Alan Tinsley, Chair, to please present the report?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The Finance and Audit Committee met on November 12, 2020 to discuss finance and audit items included in today's agenda. I chaired the meeting and Regents Flores, Montaigne, and Scott participated. Regent Harrell was also in attendance. The committee considered all items and the committee agreed to move each item to today's meeting for the board's consideration. The first item for consideration is Lamar University nursing program fee. Chairman Scott, I move that the Lamar University increase the Dishman School of Nursing undergraduate pre-licensure program fee to $200 per semester effective fall 2021 be approved. Mr. Chair.
Is there any discussion or objection to this motion? Hearing none, the motion passes.
The next items on the agenda are informational items only. Operating budget adjustments for fiscal year 2020, annual foundation reports, status of the implementation of audit and compliance recommendations. The remaining items are included in the consent agenda, and they include ratification of tuition rates for non-credit courses at the Lamar State Colleges and extension of investment custody services with Trustmark. Mr. Chairman, this concludes the Finance and Audit Committee report.
Thank you, Regent Tinsley. Our next item is the Planning and Construction agenda. Regent David Montaigne, committee member, will present the report.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. Took me just a second to unmute. Mr. Chairman, the Planning and Construction Committee met on November 10th, 2020 to discuss the planning and construction agenda. Chairman Scott chaired the meeting and the Regent Austin and I participated. Regent Flores and Regent Harrell were also in attendance. The committee considered all the items and agreed to move each item to today's meeting for the board consideration. First item for consideration is Lamar State College Orange Master Plan 2020-2030. And Chairman Scott, at this time, I'd like to ask Chad Como of Freeze and Nichols to present the master plan.
Good afternoon to the chairman and the regents. I am going to present the campus master plan. Just give me a second here. And can everyone see that?
Mr. Como, yes, we can see the presentation and hear you.
Okay, thank you. All right, so good afternoon again. My name is Shad Como. I'm with Freeze and Nichols. I'm an urban planner and associate there. I served as the project manager for this project. So I'll go through a few slides, this presentation. The process that we went through, we kicked off the campus master plan in January of 2020. We were still doing in-person meetings. However, as you all know, because of the pandemic, we completed the master planning process through a host of virtual meetings that you see here listed on the screen. We were able to get great input from the leadership, from staff, as well as students. And you'll see here a highlight of the survey results. You know, one thing I would point out is that the campus appearance was important, and one of the features that were both liked by staff, faculty, as well as students also. We did a demographic and enrollment analysis during this process. One thing that I'll point out here, you're looking at the catchment area of the college. One thing I'll point out is that the catchment area goes well beyond the city of Orange, which the college is located, as well as Orange County as well. And so I think that was great that the college is reaching out. And so some of the things that you'll see here in the master plan and even the new programs that you heard earlier are going to help expand those boundaries. Market analysis was also done to look at some of the economic factors and indicators in the region and how we might capitalize on those. There was an aspirational goal of 3,200 students set for the next 10 years to reach that enrollment. And some of the ways that we'll get there is through these initiatives and increased enrollment. Like I mentioned earlier, there were some new programs and certificates that you all approved earlier. Those and various things like that will help to increase the enrollment.
Mr. Como, just one moment.
Are you sharing a PowerPoint right now or a PDF presentation? Because we're seeing the PDF, so you may be sharing the wrong application right now. I apologize.
I'm sharing a PDF.
Okay, it's not advancing for us. So we're still on page 1.
I'm not sure why it's not showing on your end. So you're not seeing this advancement?
We are now.
We are now.
Okay.
You're flipping really quickly, correct? Yeah, it's.
Okay.
Yeah, so there it goes. Okay, I think we're.
Yeah, I think we're good now.
Good
Sorry
to
about
resume.
that.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
All right. So I'll just back up just a little bit here. The demographic and enrollment analysis, you'll see the catchment area here for the college, noting that it goes well outside of the city, which is located as well as the county. The market analysis, we wanted to look at some economic indicators and various things related to the population and demographic to help serve the region and the county a little bit better. The enrollment projection, looking at an aspirational goal of 3,200 students and how we'll get there over the next 10 years would be through a variety of ways, through expanded outreach, looking at new and expanded programs, and just really enhancing that student quality and success that helps to increase enrollment. So as most of you know, during any campus master plan process, we do analysis of the existing conditions, looking at what's on the ground today. So we looked at things such as the surrounding land uses near the college, the building functionality, how they function and relate to one another, access and circulation, which is very important to decreasing vehicular and pedestrian conflicts. And parking was also another important analysis here. As you'll see in the recommendations, there's a reconfiguration of a large existing parking lot. And of course, with some of the new facilities coming on board, just making sure that there's not any deficit in the parking on the campus. And then overall, looking at the opportunities and constraints there, and noticing that, West Green Avenue is a corridor that slightly separates the campus. And so how do we make sure pedestrians cross safely and making sure that the campus doesn't seem divided? So I'll go through the recommendations here real quickly. We developed some guiding principles, 6 of them to relate to the recommendations. And so essentially, whenever a new recommendation is, comes online or is discussed, it should touch on at least one of those guiding principles. Here's the overall campus master plan. I won't go through all of these, but I will point out that the academic building was a focus of this campus master plan, as well as looking at what do you do with some of the other spaces on the campus. And so the academic building being across 4th Street, slightly separated from the campus, making sure that it interacts with the main campus. So you're not creating a building that's separate, but we're making sure that the pedestrian walkways, those vehicular connections all connect to the overall campus. Each recommendation went into detail with an associated cost estimate in the square footages that were associated with those facility recommendations. This is a rendering of the new academic building. If you're familiar with the campus, this is if you were looking outside of a window, outside of the front door of the library, this is what you would see. There were also some proposed transportation recommendations and improvements. The one I'll highlight, as I mentioned earlier, was the reconfiguration of the central parking lot, making sure that the vehicular flow is consistent, also creating a clear pedestrian pathway all the way through the parking lot. Currently now, this existing parking lot includes this pedestrian walkway, but this one doesn't. And so making sure that that's connected and reconfiguring the parking lot. And also some various landscape improvements. I would say that there weren't much to recommend on that end because the college does a great job at their landscaping. And there was also some general recommendations such as, future acquired land and wayfinding and signage. The plan concludes with a three-phase strategy approach, near term, midterm, and long term, just to help to give some logistics and some logic to the recommendations and when each of those might come on board. So it's often said that a picture is worth 1,000 words. And so in this case, it'll be an animation. But with that, I'd like to present to you the 2020 Lamar State College Campus Master Plan. If you could roll the video. So I'd like to just take a minute to thank Dr. Johnson and his leadership and staff, faculty and students for the opportunity, but for also working and collaborating with us throughout this process and giving their input. It was a really great experience, and we thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Como. And Tom, I know you have a few words to say, so Dr. Johnson.
Yes, Lamar State College Orange, we're committed to building a longer table, not a higher barrier for our students. And I think this is a wonderful depiction of it. We are a critical part of downtown Orange, and this provides a roadmap for our future over the next 10 years for a bright orange future for not only Southeast Texas, but Southwest Louisiana. And the LSCO campus master plan contains elements of future buildings, potential land acquisitions, parking lots, and landscaping. One of the things you notice that I've been committed to is large green spaces, beautiful plazas, ample parking, and community friendly. This is the only college that I've ever worked at that you don't need a parking sticker. You can just drive up and there's plenty of parking for everyone for resident access, which is a beautiful thing. It's very critical that, we look forward to the next 10 years. And I want to thank my leadership team, David Montaigne, for working with us on this. Has been absolutely wonderful. Our faculty and staff, in fact, the entire city of Orange participated in every facet that we went along so that we could bring you this beautiful 10-year master plan for Lamar State College Orange. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Johnson. And this is that one building, the featured building, there now, the academic building, has been a bowling alley, a storage. It's been there since 1900. It's put together with glue and paper clips. And I like your chances of getting this at most expensive building, since your campus is in the middle of Speaker-elect Dave Phelan's district. So congratulations on that. With that, Mr. Chairman, I move that the 2020-2030 Campus Master Plan for Lamar State College Orange be approved.
Is there any discussion or objection to this motion? Hearing none, the motion passes. Thank you, David. That concludes your report? Uh-oh.
Okay, you hear me now?
Yes.
The next item for consideration is Lamar University design development documents for the Mary and John Gray Library Sprinkler Project. Chairman Scott, I move the design development documents for the Mary and John Gray Library Sprinkler System project at Lamar University be approved.
Is there any discussion or objection to the motion? Hearing none, the motion passes. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, the next item for consideration is at Sam Houston, design development documents for the new parking structure. Chairman Scott, I move the design development documents for the new parking structure, Avenue I, project at Sam Houston State University be approved.
Is there any discussion or objection to the motion? Hearing none, the motion passes.
The next item for consideration is a Sol Ross State University design development documents for the Museum of the Big Bend expansion. Chairman Scott, I move the design development documents for the Museum of the Big Bend expansion project at Sol Ross State University be approved.
Is there any discussion or objection to the motion? Hearing none, the motion passes.
The next item is at Texas State, the design development documents for the Infrastructure Research Laboratory building. Mr. Chairman, I move the design development documents for the Infrastructure Research Laboratory building project at Texas State University be approved.
Is there any discussion or objection to this motion? Hearing none, the motion passes.
The next item for consideration is the Texas State University System Update to Capital Improvements Program. Chairman Scott, I move the update to the capital improvements program for fiscal years 2021 through 2026 be adopted.
Is there any discussion or objection to the motion? Hearing none, the motion passes.
Mr. Chairman, the next item is just an informational item, the quarterly and planning and construction report. The remaining items are included in the consent agenda. Update the policies, procedures manual for planning and construction in agreement with Sightlines LLC.
Very good, Regent Montaigne. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, that concludes our report.
Our next report is rules and regulations. Regent Veronica Edwards, committee chair. Veronica, would you present your report?
Yes, thank you, Chairman Scott. The Rules and Regulations Committee met by telephone on Tuesday, November the 10th, 2020, and discussed the items on the Rules and Regulations agenda. I chaired the meeting, which was also attended by committee members Regent Flores and Regent Tinsley and Board Chairman Scott. The Chancellor and representatives of the System Administration Office and of the component institutions were also present. The meeting was duly posted in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Law. The committee voted unanimously to recommend that all agenda items dealing with mostly administrative matters be placed on the consent agenda, and unless any regent would like to move one of those rules to the meeting agenda, the committee recommends that they remain as part of the consent agenda. Mr. Chairman, this concludes the Rules and Regulations Committee report.
Thank you, Veronica.
Thank you.
Based on the recommendation of the Rules and Regulations Committee, all the proposed rules shall be placed on the consent agenda. No action is required on this at this time. And that concludes. We move now to the Governmental Relations Committee. Regent David Montaigne, Chair. David, we got you in double duty here. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The Chair and the Regents should have all received a detailed report that Sean put together with some background information. So we'll keep this brief. However, I'd be remiss if I didn't take the opportunity to say a few words about some great news our system and quick mention of the legislative priorities our governmental relations team is pushing for starting next month. As many of you know, we have a new speaker-elect, Dave Thielen. Chairman Thielen is no stranger to this system and the Board of Regents. He'll make a fantastic speaker. On behalf of the Texas State University system, I want to congratulate Chairman Thielen and wish him well as he takes the reins in January. With the new speaker, we'll likely have new chairman, new protocols, and new staff. Tommy Williams, former state senator, was appointed by Speaker-elect to head the transition team, and they've done a good job putting the staff together for Dave. And Chairman and Lieutenant Governor Patrick will be putting his committees together, and we'll see who we get. Dave has appointed a committee to make recommendations on COVID-19 protocols. That committee is chaired by Sam Houston's own Dr. Tom Oliverson, and he will play a crucial role in determining what the 87th legislative session will look like. On legislative priorities, we'll try to continue to get formula funding sufficient to cover enrollment and growth, funding for Lamar State colleges to align with their peer institutions, funding and enhancements for Lamar, Sam Houston, and Texas State University to align with peer institutions, funding for Texas grants, equal opportunity grants, financial aid programs, capital construction and TRBs to address enrollment growth and aging educational facilities, relief with foregone tuition and fees associated with Hazelwood, funding for health insurance premiums, contribution rates, and assistance with natural disaster recovery efforts. Mr. Chairman, this concludes our governmental relations report.
Thank you, Regent Montaigne. No action is required on this report. The board will now consider contracts, personnel, and miscellaneous items. The next order of business is the approval of contracts. All the items in the contracts section have been moved to the consent agenda. Are there any questions from the board? Vice President Herrera is available should you have any questions or choose to pull any item from the consent. Do I hear any objection or discussion? There being none, these items are moved to the consent agenda. Our next item is personnel. The only item is the faculty personnel report, and these can be found on the consent agenda as well. The next order of business is miscellaneous section. LSCO donation of 4th Street from Green Avenue to Main Street. And this is on the Orange campus. I'll ask Dr. Johnson to please comment on this item.
Yes, sir. I'd be happy to. The property that we were able to have the city, that we acquired from the city, I want to thank Mary Wickland for working with the city so that, as you'll notice on our master plan, they'll be able to cross from where the library is over to the new academic building without crossing the street. It will be a plaza across 4th Street in between Green and Main Street. So the city allowed us to have that property, as well as an old alleyway that used to run behind the Bank One Capitol building that we were able to purchase. So Mary done a really super job on that. I went before City Council. The City Council passed it unanimous and thanked the college for improving downtown Orange, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Johnson. Are there any questions or comments from any of the regents on this 4th Street item? There are no comments. I make a motion to approve the donation of surface right property as specified on the displayed item to Lamar State College, Orange. Is there any discussion or objection to this item? Hearing none, this motion passes. The next item under miscellaneous is LSCO's is also from Lamar State College, Orange, regarding the donation of an alleyway located at 302 North 5th Street in Orange, Texas, as specified on the displayed motion. Are we going to display that motion? Again, I'll ask Dr. Johnson to please comment on this item.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. That was another piece of property that ran parallel to the old Bank Capital One building, and the city of Orange donated that to us so that when we build the academic building, we will have the entire block there to build on.
Oh, very good, Tom. Are there any questions or comments from any of the regents? If there are none, I make the motion to approve the donation of the alleyway as specified on the displayed item to Lamar College, Orange. Is there any objection? Hearing no objection, the motion passes. Thank you, President Johnson. The next item is from Lamar State College, Port Arthur, and that it be authorized to accept the donation of unimproved real property of 23.69 acres of vacant land in Jefferson County, Texas, as stated in the motion on the screen. Laura, are we able to put up those motion or I'll just ask Dr. Renard to please comment on the motion.
Yes. Just so you know, yes, while you're all talking, we're switching back and forth, so we're fine.
Okay, it's just not showing up on my screen, but very good. Betty, are you going to?
I'd be glad to. Thank you, Regent Scott. So Lamar State College Port Arthur recently completed a grant application with the Economic Development Administration to build a commercial driving academy and testing facility. And so we approached Jefferson County to donate some property so that we could build that facility in a kind of a central location for Jefferson County. So this is the donation that they are making for that facility. And hopefully we will be able to move forward very quickly in the spring semester and get that project started. Thank you.
Board. Hearing none, I make the motion to approve the donation of unimproved real property as specified on the displayed item to Lamar State College, Port Arthur. I guess since I've got a lot of trucks that run around in Jefferson County, I'm going to tell you, I thank you very much for putting this together. It's something that our area's needed for a long time.
Yeah, and we have gotten quite a few comments from different businesses in the area. They're all anxious to get this up and running.
Very good. So I make the motion to approve the donation. Is there any discussion or objection from the board? Hearing none, the motion passes. It's our intention to present the remaining action items in the miscellaneous section at a future meeting when those recipients can attend in person. But we'd still like to confer their awards today. The items I'm referring to are the Regents Professor Awards and the Regents Student Scholar Awards. Will the Foundation's Executive Director, Mike Winnemute, please explain the first award?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It is my honor at each fall board meeting to present the Regents Professor and Regents Student Scholar Awards. The Regents Professor Award is the system's highest faculty honor. It recognizes exceptional achievement in research, teaching, and service. And this year's winners were nominated by their respective presidents. They were ranked by a committee of previous recipients and selected by the Foundation's Board of Directors at the August meeting. And the 2020 Regents Professors are Dr. Jerry Cook, Professor of Biological Sciences at Sam Houston State University, Dr. Dwayne Knudsen, Professor of Health and Human Performance at Texas State University, and Dr. Patricia Shields, Professor of Political Science at Texas State University. Mr. Chairman, there are motions before the board.
Very well. Regents, I move to confer the Regents Professor Award upon the following professors: Dr. Jerry Cook, Dwayne Knudsen, Dr. Patricia Shields. Is there any discussion or objection from any board member? Hearing none, the motion passes. And now, Mike, will you please introduce the next award?
Yes, sir. The Regents Student Scholar Award recognizes students who have demonstrated outstanding academic achievement and scholarship, leadership abilities, and contributions to the institution and their community. This year's winners were nominated by their respective presidents and selected by the Foundation Board of Directors based on the recommendation of the Chancellor. 2020 Regents Student Scholars are Ms. Tiffany Tran a biology pre-dental major at Lamar University, and Ms. Isabella Garcia, a biology major at Sul Ross State University. And Mr. Chairman, there are motions before the board.
Regents, I move that we confer the Regent Student Scholar Award upon the following students: Tiffany Tran and Isabella Garcia. Is there any discussion or objection? Hearing none, the motion passes. Thank you, Mike, and congratulations to all the winners of these awards. We all wish we were together and able to take photos. And Mike, you're going to make that happen at the next meeting when we're all together, I hope.
As soon as it's humanly possible, absolutely.
Thank you, sir. The remaining items in the miscellaneous section can be found on the consent agenda. So the next order of business is the approval of the consent agenda. These items are found at the end of each section in the board book. Are there any objections, or would any member like to remove any item from the consent agenda? Hearing no objections or questions, I move that we adopt all items on the consent agenda. Is there any discussion or questions? Hearing none, the motion passes. Having approved the minutes of the consent agenda, excuse me, everyone. My machine decided to talk back to me. Having approved the minutes and the consent agenda, our next order of business is the election of the chair and the vice chair of the board.
Chairman Scott?
Yes.
This is Charlie.
Amato.
I'd like to make a motion, please. In light of the difficulties brought about the current pandemic and the modifications we as a board have had to make to our regular board meetings, I make a motion to move the election of the chairman of the board and the election of the vice chairman of the board to our next regular board meeting in February of 2021.
Very good, Regent Amato. Is there any question or discussion or objection to this motion? Hearing none, the motion passes, and we'll delay the election until the February board meeting. Our next order of business this afternoon is a video update from the Student Advisory Board. The students were asked 3 questions about what their experiences this semester have been like in light of COVID-19. Please roll the video.
Hello, my name is Louis Revelo.
Hi, my name is Jordan Johnson.
Hi, my name is Jessica Noriega.
Hi there, my name is Catchment Valentina Steve.
Hello, my name is Andrew Florence.
My name is David Siegel.
Hello, my name is Shay Kane.
Hello, my name is Molly Absher.
Hello, my name is Wyatt Neely.
Hello, my name is Robert Hawkins.
Hi, my name is Cecilia Revis.
Student engagement and involvement is still present and as active as ever here at Lamar University. In fact, a group of us met with Hector Flores, Chief of Police at LUPD, and founded the LUHS, or Lamar University Hispanic Society. Now, as president of the organization, some of my main concerns or recruitment and participation. Nonetheless, LUHS has grown to over 100 members strong and hosted its first event not too long ago, a Hispanic Heritage Month fiesta, which proved to be a huge success.
It's obviously looked very different than what it has in the past, but the administration here and student activities and all the student organizations are really doing their best to make the college experience worthwhile. And we've really gotten creative with some of the events that we've been having. One event that we had last week was actually a drive-in movie. And so students were able to be safe and stay in their own cars, but were able to come and have a good time and watch a movie.
Our student involvement and engagement has decreased tremendously. We now don't have students showing up to events face-to-face, but So Ross has done an amazing job hosting our events virtually.
This semester, we've seen extensive student involvement in our various organizations, classroom settings, and academic programs in person and virtually. This is because Texas State University proactively planned ahead for COVID-19 safety guidelines and devoted an expansive amount of time, energy, and resources into supporting and uplifting the Texas State community.
LIT has done a really good job responding to the pandemic. They've been able to take different activities that we would have done face-to-face and they put it in a virtual format, like a job fair, SGA Q&A, a scavenger hunt, different stuff like that. And they were even able to do some face-to-face activities with social distancing in mind, like our Hispanic Heritage Day. And they offered prepackaged refreshments on the first week of class.
The coronavirus pandemic has affected our lives in so many ways, including with our families and friends and our social life here on campus. However, we strive to operate as normal with our mask and social distancing mandate, which has helped us stay clean and strong. And with the tools that LSEO has given us, along with Zoom and online classes, we have done that. And we haven't had as many cases as before. However, we have still tried our best to be with our organizations as much as we could, but still safe.
We've seen an influx of student engagement with our virtual events. A majority of our events offer substantial interactions with our students. Events like our trivia game show have students competing multiple times a month to earn gift cards from the comfort of their own homes. We've also seen great success with a comedy show hosted by Eric O'Shea. These two events show that students like our personal experience for our events.
The campus was forced closed, leaving the hallways and classrooms empty. So at this point, there is no student engagement, which is sad because memories that are supposed to be made during the college days are going to be missed.
Now, for many, college is the first big opportunity to broaden their perspectives and to learn about the diverse cultures and subgroups that make up a large percentage of this world. For many individuals, such as myself, they come into college with the prospect of making new friends, building a network, and overall just creating memories. While this has been increasingly difficult to do, especially with social distancing guidelines and online class formats, it certainly isn't impossible.
Juggling all of my responsibilities, I came into the semester thinking that taking all remote classes was going to be a piece of cake, but in all actuality, it is not. I actually think it is a little bit harder just because you have to really work on your time management skills and also having an on-campus job and an internship and being an engaged student. It has been a lot, and I know a lot of students are going through the same thing.
This semester, the hardest obstacle I have faced has been to not be able to be around my family every weekend as I would go home previous years. I try to stay away from going home just to prevent from getting my family sick or just bringing back the virus to campus, as we are trying to maintain our numbers on a low rate.
I feel I've been supported and uplifted to grow to my fullest potential and overcome any challenge or obstacle that I may encounter. I am proud to be a part of the Bobcat family, where together, no challenge is too difficult.
Well, I think that we've all faced different challenges. Some of us have had a hard time taking care of our kids, if you have kids. Some of us have had a hard time getting to and from school. Weather has been bad with Laura and Delta coming in. It's been overall just a stressful semester for everybody.
As a COVID precaution, the semester length had already been shortened. Then our area was hit by 2 hurricanes, with the first storm delaying our start date by 3 weeks. Even though we're still covering the same amount of material, our professors are working really hard to keep us students on track.
Our campus has been in the path of 3 different hurricanes, which has caused our campus to be shut down. These 3 separate campus shutdowns have slowed down the natural progress of our classes. Personally, I've had a heavier workload due to these natural disasters. COVID-19 has also been a challenge for both students and faculty. This change to virtual education was ultimately a success, though it took a long time to adjust the change in curriculum.
I contracted the virus myself during a semester. It happened during the summer semester and into this semester. It was difficult. I did get the pneumonia. It was hard breathing, but I managed, and luckily the instructors worked with me. They were kind and sweet. I couldn't have asked for better instructors. I'm getting a little emotional thinking about it.
COVID-19 has had different effects on everybody, from their mental health to their financial situations and long-term plans and goals. For example, higher education in an online format is not everybody's preferred method of learning. But nonetheless, everybody from students to professors to even parents have remained supportive, compassionate, and empathetic towards one another during this trying time.
Something positive that has come out of the pandemic is that students are able to be creative and come up with different ways to get around things and be safe and have events despite our pandemic. I think that is something that's so awesome.
Has been to be able to focus 100% on my grades. I have been able to just connect myself back together and just give myself the time to really study hard enough to raise up that GPA.
I've seen the Texas State community show what it means to be a Bobcat and represent our university values. I'm proud to be part of the encouraging, diverse, and inclusive Bobcat family.
The Texas State University community will always have a Bobcat bond that can never be broken. Our university has united together, our university has been proactive, and our university has excelled beyond measure.
Well, LIT has been very willing to meet students halfway in terms of instructors. We've had different resources to help us do that with Blackboard Collaborate and different resources like that, and we've been able to adapt together. LIT Cares provided funds to help students with their immediate needs.
LSCO has shown that it can still be a place of learning, friendship, and community.
Our collegiate years determine who we are for the rest of our lives. Facing these challenges prepares us for the adversity we certainly will experience in the years to come.
Students are still able to pursue their degree because Sol Ross made it possible for them, providing them their education through online resources.
Very good. Regents, any comments or questions?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I just might say how pleased and proud I am of the administrators, faculty, staff, and students for what has happened with regard to COVID on our campuses. One case is too many, but we have 85,000 students, 86,000 students. We have 16,000 faculty and staff. And yet we've had 2,100 cases of COVID. So we're ranking at about the 2% level, which is much lower than the communities on which our campuses sit and much lower than the statewide average. So there's a lot to be thankful for and pleased about. And it appears statistically our people are doing a very, very good job.
Thank you, Chancellor McCall. Speaking for myself, and I'm sure for all of the regents, not being able to see our students on campus is one of the things that bothers me the most. It's one of the highlights of each of the regents meetings, and I so look forward to the time when we can be back on campus with our students. Any other comments from any of our regents? Hearing none, I'd also like to thank the students and the Student Activities Office at Sam Houston for their leadership in producing this video. We appreciate all our students, affairs officers, and leadership. If there are no other comments, we'll move to campus updates from the two-year colleges. The first campus is LIT. We have 3 campus updates to be presented by our schools. First up is Lamar Institute of Technology. This year's update will be presented by Provost Executive Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Carrie Mix. Dr. Mix.
Good afternoon, Chairman Scott, Chancellor, Regents, distinguished guests, and colleagues. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to provide the campus update for Lamar Institute of Technology. As you heard earlier from President Howard, in just 4 years, from fall 2016 to fall 2020, LIT has increased credit enrollment by 66% and had an equally amazing fall enrollment increase of 14%. This enrollment growth is following Dr. Howard's bold prediction in 2016 of 10 and 10. 10,000 students in the next 10 years. What has contributed to our growth? Dr. Howard's LIT Cares initiative, which provided 12 months free and reduced tuition, made possible by $500,000 generous gift from our LIT Foundation, community college parity funding from the Texas State Legislature, secured by our very own hardworking system staff, increased dual credit enrollment with a broader regional approach to establish our statewide footprint. This is just to name a few. As you will shortly see in our video, you will find out that LIT is a great place not only to work, but to learn in Southeast Texas. Please turn your attention to our video.
The year 2020 has tested everyone in so many ways, but for Lamar Institute of Technology and other institutions of higher education, 2020 has presented a whole new set of challenges. During this time of a worldwide pandemic and a glut of natural disasters in Southeast Texas, we wondered, how do you entice potential students and motivate current ones when many have suffered job or income loss, demotion, and even despair? LIT rose in the face of adversity. Fueled by the federally funded CARES Act, combined with community college parity funding from the Texas Legislature, which created a historic tuition cut by the Texas State University system for the 2019 and 20 school year, LIT's tuition dropped nearly 25%. Dr. Howard led our campus to create the LIT Cares initiative, offering 12 months of free and reduced tuition to eligible students. This initiative allows students a faster and more affordable path to their careers. All of these programs actually helped LIT increase enrollment. In fact, in the last 4 years, LIT has consistently maintained double-digit enrollment increases. Most recently, the Institute helped lead enrollment increases within the Texas State University system, recording the highest increase of all member colleges for fall 2020 at 14%. Throughout 2020, LIT has shown we care, but the bottom line is how LIT Cares initiative has changed students' lives.
COVID has affected me because there are a lot of people depending on me financially, and I feel like it's really hard to juggle between paying for school and bills, and LIT Cares program helped with that so that I could focus on the people who needed me the most while also being able to still attend school, and I didn't have to choose between the two.
I started attending LIT at the beginning of January 2020, right when COVID-19 started to hit. I quit my job so that I could come to school and focus full time. I thought I would be able to make it all the way through with the savings that I had, but I ran into some adverse situations, health issues as well as car issues, and it kind of depleted the funds that I had saved up. I still needed to finish school, so I came back in the fall and I tried to find some side funding that would help me be able to make it through the semester. LIT Cares came through and helped me out and allowed me to purchase the books that I needed, also the tools that I would need to finish school for class and things like that. And hopefully I can stay on my path and graduate in December of 2021.
LIT cares for our students in many ways. Despite all other public and private business closures, Dr. Howard felt it was vital for LIT, with over 8,100 credit and non-credit students enrolled.
Derek, can you update us on where we
to
are
remain
and what
open during the pandemic.
is likely to happen?
We transitioned from strictly remote learning to a combination of online, hybrid, and face-to-face instruction. With students returning to campus, we established new safety protocols. On campus, you will see signs requiring masks or face coverings. Faculty, staff, and students are screened before entering any building. Other changes you will notice are CDC-related signs posted throughout the campus. Furniture has been rearranged, removed, or marked to promote social distancing. Looking forward, we have much to be grateful for.
Derek,
and
you may be
excited about.
muted.
Since fall 2016, we have had a 66% credit student enrollment growth in spite of a previous 5-year enrollment decline. So we have a lot to be proud of, and we have truly had growth in spite of. Our college is truly the premier 2-year college in Southeast Texas and Southwest Louisiana. And under this notion of growth and excellence, it's not about the numbers, but it's about the people. Although much has been accomplished, there is still work to be done. According to the college's strategic plan called a shared vision, LIT's short-term goal is simple but profound: to increase credit student headcount by 10% to 5,018 students by next fall. To accomplish Dr. Howard's short-term goal, LIT will recruit more adult learners, increase dual credit student enrollment by working with the LIT Foundation to raise significantly more scholarship funds by next fall, and concentrate on the importance of student retention. With this goal in mind, our shared vision is for every student to be given the opportunity to realize and live the American dream.
As you saw from the video, we have been challenged in 2020 with providing excellent post-secondary learning experiences while adapting to many new challenges because of COVID-19 pandemic and weather-related events. And despite these challenges, our college has shown its continued institutional resilience coupled with historic enrollment growth and student engagement. As you see, there are many good things going on at LIT because LIT cares. This concludes our campus update. Thanks for your time this afternoon. If you have any questions for Dr. Howard and me, please let me know.
Thank you. Regents, any questions or comments for Dr. Mix?
Chairman, it was a very good presentation. Lonnie, you told us when we hired you what you were going to do. I didn't believe you, but you're doing it. So good luck in the future.
Thank you.
Very good. Well, thank you, Dr. Mix, and also President Howard for this update. We appreciate all you've done under very difficult circumstances. Next up is Lamar State College Orange. At this time, I'll ask Dr. Tom Johnson to please introduce your update.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Regents, for more than 50 years, Lamar State College Orange has served the citizens of Southeast Texas and Southwest Louisiana. We're committed to a first-class education that our students can either go right to a university or go right to work. With our small class sizes, individual learning, and our reduced tuition, it makes it affordable for everyone. We not only want to bring them in, we want to graduate our students so that they'll be successful as they go out. As you know, we've been through a number of hurricanes, COVID-19, and we've seen a lot here in the recent past. However, Lamar State College, our mission is very simple: transform lives. And I want you to enjoy this short video of our beautiful campus on the Sabine, and you'll see why many people want Lamar State College Orange to be on their transcript. Thank you.
A few years ago, we adopted a new tagline at Lamar State College Orange: "The future is bright orange." It was born out of our belief in hope and opportunity for the future. A positive outlook from a transformative place. Never has this idea been more important than it is today. Our students, our faculty, our campus, our community are all facing extraordinary circumstances that have forever changed us. We are each facing challenges that we never imagined. One thing we have come to know is that we are all better together. Together, we are stronger.
Coming to LSCO has made me stronger by helping me achieve my dream. By me being able to obtain the degree that is my dream. And I'm proud to be a part of the 8th ranking pharmacy technology program in the state of Texas here at LSCO.
We've made a lot of friends here of all ages. During our time here, not having a place to study, we've had so much outpouring of love.
I'm on the LSCO Fishing Club, and I'm so proud that this year we already have 3 teams qualified for an FLW and BASS National Championship.
Lamar State College Orange has helped mold my passion for criminal justice. I am very glad I came back after 10 years.
LSCO has made my future brighter by giving me opportunities and connections where I would not have been able to make anywhere else.
Together, we are smarter.
From Dr. Johnson, our president, to our instructors, to our janitors, they are all involved. They all want us to succeed and go on to better things.
But it seems like here everyone just wants to help you as much as they can. The staff really exceeded my expectations because they're really helpful and they want to see you succeed.
My favorite thing about LSCO is that all the professors are nice and they help students out more than they would at a big university because there's less students in each classroom.
The faculty and staff here have been completely amazing through this whole process.
Together, we've got this.
We are together. We are a community here. I really don't know if I would be able to make it if I did not have the support system that I did.
Without LSCO, we probably wouldn't have the knowledge that we have now to get the business off the ground. That was the big stepping stone for us. The business management program is what really allowed us to do that.
Lamar's going to help me reach my goals by providing the foundation and the confidence that I have in the community to be able to come back and to be successful.
While life's circumstances may knock us back, they won't knock us down. Together we face these obstacles and we come up with solutions. Creative thinking, new ideas that restore hope and make the future seem a little brighter. Together we can meet the challenges ahead. We can prepare for success through education. And together, we start looking to the future and see new opportunities emerging. At Lamar State College Orange, the future is bright orange. And together, we can make it even brighter.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We hope you enjoyed the video.
You're welcome, President Johnson. Regents, any questions or comments?
Dr. Johnson, I've got one question. Which new building are you going to put the Fishing Hall of Fame?
We have implemented truck driving to carry the trophies. That will be.
That's a good answer.
Well, very good. Well, thank you, President Johnson. That video was very well done. Our next review is Lamar State College, Port Arthur. Dr. Renard, would you please introduce your update?
Unmute here. Thank you, Regent Scott. I'm happy to present an update for Lamar State College, Port Arthur this afternoon. As each of you know too well, grants are a very critical aspect of the growth and future success of any college or university. At Lamar State College, Port Arthur, we have been blessed to receive a wealth of support in the form of more than $17 million in grants over the last 3 years. In today's presentation, we feature one major award that increases our support of Hispanic and underserved students, and 2 other grants that will guarantee a steady creation of a quality, well-trained workforce. I hope you enjoy the video.
Lamar State College Port Arthur has experienced multiple hurricanes, a global pandemic, and a major refinery explosion. In spite of these obstacles, we have had some major successes that we would like to share with you. In the past 3 years, the college has worked to secure special funding for 3 projects that will affect our students and our community for years to come. The $2.87 million Title V grant awarded by the U.S. Department of Education will improve the college's ability to serve its Hispanic population and to improve services to underserved students. The Economic Development Administration awarded $6 million in 2019 for the creation of the new Industrial Craft Training Facility. Now we are in final legal approval for a second EDA grant. This grant will provide $4.9 million to create our area's only commercial driver examination center. These investments speak directly to LSCPA's dedication to offer learning opportunities that provide a diverse workforce for our region and our state.
Hello, I am Dr. Lona Alexander Mitchell, the Title V Grant Director for Lamar State College, Port Arthur. Many of our students come from low-income households and are often the first in their family to attend college. These students need help understanding and succeeding in a college system. To meet this need, Lamar State College, Port Arthur applied for and received $2.87 million through the U.S. Department of Education Title V grant. As a Hispanic serving institution, this grant provides Lamar State College, Port Arthur the opportunity to better address the needs of our community. The 5-year project addresses the need for additional academic support for our at-risk students, providing for several student success initiatives. Tutor.com offers tutoring for all Lamar State College, Port Arthur students 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Circle In is an easy-to-use studying app, the website where students study remotely in groups. Students communicate, collaborate, and brainstorm in learning communities. The Title V grant has also allowed for the creation of the Excelencia Center and the Camino a la Excelencia, simply translated Pathway to Excellence.
Texas labor market data show that more than 250,000 Texans are already employed in the transportation industry. And the data show that this industry is in growth mode, needing more drivers than ever before. And yet, at the same time, data shows that it can take months to even schedule the skills or driving portion of the commercial driving exam. To meet this need, the college applied for and is in the final stages of approval for $4.9 million from the Department of Commerce to create our area's only commercial driving skills examination center. Jefferson County Commissioners Court recently donated 24 acres of land along U.S. Highway 69 for the construction of our new facility. This new center is designed to be twice the size of any existing DPS megacenter. Our area is rapidly becoming the LNG export capital of the world. Local LNG building projects anticipate the need for a workforce in excess of 10,000 personnel. To meet this need, the college is converting its 96-year-old Texas National Guard Armory into a state-of-the-art industrial craft training facility. This is a 30,000 square foot facility, and it's 36 feet from floor to ceiling. Because of its size, it will truly be one of a kind. Scaffolding students can build scaffold up to 3 stories tall inside the building. The past 3 years have seen a monumental investment of grant funds that will directly affect our students and our community. This investment will result in educational opportunities, sustained economic growth, and improved quality of life for generations to come. We are thankful for the opportunity to better support the underserved students of our area, while also building a first-class workforce that will benefit local business and industry. These are just the early steps of what will surely be an incredible impact in the lives of many who pass our way.
Well, that concludes our report, Chairman Scott. If there's any questions, I'll be glad to try and answer them.
Regents, any questions or comments?
Certainly. I'd just like to say congratulations to everything y'all are doing. I'm a first-generation graduate of the Texas State University system, and seeing the Hispanic programs emerge is impressive. And please let me know if there's anything I can do to further the effort. It's very much needed, and the programs that you're putting together are really on the forefront. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other quick comments?
Mr. Chair, I'd just like to comment to Dr. Renard. I can remember when Brian tried to get you to leave LIT and go take this presidency, and you said no for about a month. Brian just wouldn't give up. And it was already a great school doing a lot of stuff, creating a lot of good associate degrees, but you're the one that turned this into also a great liberal arts school, but a great job creator. And for those of us that live in the Golden Triangle, we're going to really appreciate all you've done in changing a little bit of the direction of the school and making it a little more technical. Thank you.
Any other comments? Well, thank you, President Renard. It was a great video, and we all applaud your efforts. The next order of business is the TSUS Foundation update. We want to ask Mike Winnemute, Executive Director of the Foundation, to present his report. Mike?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Board of Directors of the TSUS Foundation, including Regents Amato, Scott, and Tinsley, met telephonically on Thursday, November 12th. And this report is a summary of business from that meeting. At the end of the third quarter, Foundation assets totaled $7 million. 89% or $6.2 million of that is in the Foundation's undesignated account, and the remainder is split between the Foundation's 2 scholarship accounts, which will soon be 3 scholarship accounts with the addition of the Fernando Gomez Scholarship. More than 60% of the undesignated account is invested in equities and about 29% in cash equivalents and fixed income, consistent with the Foundation's investment policy. As of September 30th, the Foundation's total portfolio had gained 7.5% from a year earlier, with an average gain of 6% over the last 5 years. And the equity invested portion was up more than 9% compared to a year earlier. The Foundation's total and net assets are heading in the right direction thanks to a strong market and significantly as a result of paying off substantial amount of debt in 2019. Note the narrowing gap between total assets and net assets as a result of the board's decision last year to pay off 2 large loans that benefited the system and Sol Ross. The Grow Your Own Scholarship Program has 2 remaining recipients with a current obligation of about $77,000 as we begin to wind down this scholarship program and transition to a competitive grant program that will support the recruitment and retention of minority faculty across the system. The Diversity Enhancement Grant Program, which will replace the Grow Your Own Scholarship, was launched this year with a limited focus on our 2-year institutions in Southeast Texas. And we hope to award up to $100,000 in grants at the February meeting based on proposals that we expect to receive next week. And that concludes my report, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mike. Regents, any questions or comments? If there are no questions or comments, we'll move on. Our next item of business is the board will now recess to executive session in accordance with the Texas Open Meeting Act, section 551.071 through 074 of the government code. No votes will be taken or in executive session. The audio and video stream of the meeting will be paused and muted by our technical team. We'll take a 5-minute break to allow for the chancellor and regents to join the executive session with the instructions provided earlier. For the record, the time is 2:46, excuse me. And we stand at recess.
Chair Scott, are you?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I was just making sure we had a quorum to recess. And we do. Okay. All right, whenever you're ready, we can reconvene, then recess.
Well, do you think we need to wait for, do we need to wait for others to get on?
All the schools were told they don't need to rejoin. Just regents, if we just have to have a quorum, which we do.
Very good. All right, well, we'll now reconvene in open session and the time is 4:14. For the record, in compliance with the Texas Open Meeting Act, no votes were taken or decisions reached in the executive session. If there is no objection, we'll now adjourn the meeting of the Board of Regents if there's no other business to be brought before the Texas State University system. If there is no objection, then the meeting will be closed and the time is 4:15 p.m. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
I hope we don't have to do this again at our next meeting.
Me too.